No, it would just be me and a couple of boys.
All right, yo, what's the deal, YouTube? We're back, man. We're back for another episode of Still Slippin podcast. It's me, OIG Lalo, and Baller Jones. We coming live and direct, man, from Los Santos. And today's topic, man, we're gonna be touching on crew hopping. Right now, I know some of y'all like, man, we already know about crew hopping is bad. We're gonna give y'all a little perspective, a little insight on crew hopping in the street gang community. So, my take on crew hopping, man, yes, it's frowned upon. Well, I guess let me jump into the definition. Basically, it's self-explanatory. Switching from one crew to another. The way I look at it, even if you're, say, for example, a fam, right? And you form drive families, and then you're like, man, I'm gonna go be Davis. The next week, I'm gonna go be Chamberlain. Then the next week, I'm gonna go be whatever. To me, that's still crew hopping. Even though you don't change colors, a lot of people just limit it to changing colors. But I feel like switching sets amongst the same faction is still crew hopping to me. What do you think, Jones?
Absolutely, man. I'll hold my hands up now and say I'm a crew hopper, man. I have been a crew hopper, and I've got no shame in that. I mean, I had my reasons for doing it, which I might touch on later or whatever. Because I've been in Eastside Baller, Covent Avenue, I've been in South Rancho, I've been in Death Row. I don't think I've ridden Kilo Tray, but yeah, I've crew hopped. But I think there's like there's levels to it, isn't it? It's like crew hopping. Some people, I would assume crew hopping would be going from families to ballers to vagos to marabunta to bloods to crips. I don't even want to mention bloods to crips. But yeah, my crew hopping, people might think it's going from families to ballers, and I think that's the general definition of it. But if you want to narrow it down, then yeah, you can say crew hopping within your crew, like within your colours, is crew hopping. And Trap Money has said to me before, like, not to me, but he's mentioned it, that he'd like it within the nation, so to speak. So, kind of cut that out recently, within the last couple of years. But the reason I did it was to network, and that's why some other people do it to network. They do it to build alliances and shit like that. And I think even Snags in the last couple of episodes where he did it to build alliances and that, and just never works out really, but in the long term perhaps it does. So yeah, that's my little take on it.
Okay, yeah, I get where you're coming from as far as doing the networking, right? Because a lot of times, like back in the day, we used to, it was usually like the leaders or like commissioners, just like high-ranked members of the crew would go be a member of the Allies crew to kind of show like the unity, I guess. And I think that's why I did it mostly. But I never, because I feel like you're taking a spot. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing that, and I'm just there, right? I'll just use DFAM for example, because I was affiliated with both, right? I'm in DFAM, but I never had a crew active. You know what I'm saying? So then it comes to a point like everybody know we're cool, so why do I need to stay in the crew? You know what I mean? But the alliance part, building that up, I can get that. And like I said, everybody know what crew hopping is, really, you know, the definition. But the I think a lot of people, and I'll just mention the internal stuff because I feel like a lot of people skip over it. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah, I think it's quite a deep subject because I don't think you can. Being called a crew hopper is kind of a negative connotation on some. It is a dirt really to call someone a crew hopper, but I mean, when I did it, I was doing it to get recognition for other official baller sets, and I was in Bruges Avenue as well. Did it to promote them and shit like that, because I had a channel where I did videos for the gang I was in. I would have the logo, the emblem on my car and on my back, shit like that, and it was a part of it was promoting the gang and it's promoting the ballers and that. So I didn't see that as crew hopping personally, but I can see how it could definitely seem as crew hopping when you look at it. But I mean, I think real crew hopping going from different organizations, you know what I mean? Going from Mr. Ballers, Bagos and to MC. That's real crew hopping. That's the problem.
okay, so why? So what? Why is that bad? Right. I think that's what we want to touch on today.
Well, because you can't be trusted, because you could be laying information to the gang you're really affiliated with. It's just and you could be trying to set people up, and I guess that's where we go on to the infiltration and stuff like that. And there was another aspect to it, wasn't there? There's crew hopping, infiltration. What was the other one?
Gatekeeping, right? You
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, you know, the gatekeeping is basically, and we'll touch on that at the end. But gatekeeping is like, all right, I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna make all these Davis crews, and then if you want to be a Davis family, you need to come through me, type situation. That's what gatekeeping is. That you trying to keep a lock on a certain gang or a certain set, specifically a Rockstar set. That's what gatekeeping really applies to, the official sets. Which I personally feel like you can't gatekeep a set that Rockstar created, a GTA gang, such as let's see, Rolling Heights, right? I'm just using them. You can't say, oh, we the official Rolling Heights and nobody else can be Rolling Heights, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's not right, really. I mean, yeah, and also gatekeeping could be like someone sitting on a gang and they're not even active, and they haven't been active for like a year or so. That's kind of gatekeeping. I mean, people might accuse me of gatekeeping Covenant Avenue, but at least I'm putting that content. I might not be in the streets, but I'm putting that content, and maybe I might jump in now and again and shoot somebody and post a clip or whatever. That's not gatekeeping, because at least I'm trying to stay active, and like I'm doing the podcast and shit like that. People who have actively disengaged from the game, even uninstalled GTA from their console, and they're still the leader of the gang. That's a problem gatekeeping. It's like problem gatekeeping.
Okay, so if somebody let me ask you a question.
I will mention E from Covenant Avenue in this. He ran Covenant Avenue for a while, for a long time, and then he went to PC, and then for 6 months he was still the leader of Covenant on console, but he'd never been on console for 6 months. And then Trap Money said to him, you know, you need to give this up, you know, because you're, quote, gatekeeping it, like. And so he had to give it to the commissioner, which was mid-time, so then I took it on. And he didn't like it, but he did it respectfully, man. And he kind of understood. And so that's what you need to do to get rid of that stigma kind of thing of being a gatekeeper, if you don't want to be known as that.
Okay, so I see where you're coming from. I feel like the limit though is say you make a crew and then you decide, hey, I'm not active. You the original creator of the crew. I feel like you have the keys. You created the keys. So if you choose to keep it, then you keep it. But it's more so if somebody came to you and said, all right, Jones, you in cabs and you're not active, but I want to make like a cabs type crew. You get what I'm saying? Would you, if you start going after them, that's calling them fake or whatever, or if they, you know what I'm saying? That I feel like that's still the gatekeeper aspect. They're creating their own crew version of Covenant or whatever, and then I don't know if would you be expecting them to come to you and say, hey, I'm doing this crew or whatever. Is it cool? Or I don't know how you would like your take on that as far as another Covenant Ave crew that would come up.
Yeah, I think you'd still be shit. I'm only relaying how I was treated when I tried to do that. So if somebody tried to do that to me, I would be the same, and I would say, why are you trying to make a Covenant crew when I'm already independent, without even talking to me about it? I mean, obviously you need to, they probably don't even know about you, but the chances are they probably do, but they might not know. So
But I'm saying, so like if they come to you and say, hey, they know you're not active, but they want to do a spin-off type, or just like a Covenant, whatever, cabs and crew tag. Because some people probably look at it as, hey, I don't expect you to give up your crew, right? If somebody say, hey, Jones, you're not active, give me that crew you got. The chance of them doing that is slim. You know, I feel like the chance of you doing that is slim. You know, I don't say you giving up cabs.
Because you don't even know these people, man, who are asking it. No, you know these people. I mean, I would give cabs to Ross right now if he wanted it. Probably. Like, I've got to know him recently. You need to get to know the people that you're dealing with. Yeah, I don't expect anybody to give up a crew, but you don't. It's like you don't make 3 or 4. You don't gatekeep 3 or 4 crews. I'm only gatekeeping one crew, man. But gatekeeping whatever. Only one crew, man. So I'm gatekeeping crews and shit. I think there's a problem when you got someone who's got like about 3 or 4 different crews or whatever. I mean, that's bullshit. That's not even part of the game, man. That's bullshit. Anyway, I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Let's go on to infiltration, man.
Okay, well, I mean, we're gonna go back to the crew hopping. So,
okay,
with the because the crew hopping, we didn't touch on like ways, you know, where it's a good reason, bad reason. So, some of the reasons I feel like crew hopping would be okay. Say somebody join, right? They come and they're like, man, I'm trying to be in the GTA community, GTA street gang community. They join a crew. I'm gonna just give like a situation, I guess, right? This person, they're like, man, I'm gonna be a baller. Put baller in their name, crew tag, their PSN. They join this certain baller group. They find out these ballers, you know, run, hide, you know, they don't play legit. They kind of scary. Then that person is in a situation, right? They're like, man, these dudes are some, you know, I'm trying to clean up my language for YouTube, but these dudes are real scary. You know what I mean? Like what? Like, but they didn't know that at first. You get what I'm saying? The leader be running and hiding from people. Like you don't. Then I feel like that person, if they choose to change crews or crew hop, I feel like that's a valid reason to crew hop. If your leadership is trash, scary, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I can understand it, because like, what are they supposed to do like in that situation?
So what crew would they hypothetically crew hop to? You saying?
I'm just wondering, like, what are they supposed to do if you're in that situation? You're like, man, these people aren't what I thought they were. You know what I mean? And but you want to be a baller. You're gonna stay with ballers, but technically you have to switch crews or crew hop to another baller set or create your own. I don't know. Like, so do you stay loyal to this crew? You know what I mean?
I mean, I know what you're saying. See, that's what I was saying before. I don't see crew hopping. I don't see moving between different ballers or different families as crew hopping technically. I see crew hopping is like when you move between colours. That's the way I always seen it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you another example. So say that there's you're doing TDMs or whatever, right? You say, hey, let's do a 4v4, right? And you know this specific fam set, and usually have these specific members on a usual basis, right? But they go grab a fam that's from another set that's just so happen to be in their crew, but don't never have the crew tag active, and they turn that crew tag on just for that CB. And then after the CB, they turn it off and go back to their other fam set that they normally with. Is that not the same? Is that not falling in the category of like import or crew hopping?
Nah, yeah, that's crew hopping import. I see what you're saying, man. That's crew hopping import. That's not good, man. But
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This person is always active with one particular set, and then now we doing a CB. Now y'all go get him, but it's still fans though, right?
It's not common. They don't do that much. But I see what you're saying. I don't think that's a common. I don't think it's a common thing, man. I think people nowadays tend to stick to their own crew, and they tend to stick to their own family's crew or ball's crew. I think they don't really jump between. I mean, I never did it for TDMs. I can see what you're saying. Doing it for TDMs, that might have been a thing in the past. I don't think people do that nowadays. I mean, I would switch between baller crews to give promotion and shit. Honestly, only because of my platform, and I'm not saying it's a big platform, but my content, my content, it was always about giving exposure to different baller gangs to try and make the baller nation bigger, man. So that's why I crew hop, and so that's why I don't like to say switching between different purple was crew hopping. So yeah, I don't like to label it like that. I just say it's old, or like you said, put it along with importing and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. All right, man. Hey, well, if y'all let us know in the comments, man. Like if you feel like switching internally, is that considered crew hopping as well? You know, I know my opinion is not everybody's opinion, but you know, let us know how y'all feel, man. Do y'all, do the SGC as a whole consider that crew hopping, or is it just switching from Aztecs to families or something like that, for example? I will say that to touch back on that, because you said it was about trusting people. But say like if they came to you, say like an Aztec came to you and said, hey, this is the reason why I want to switch. They give a valid reason. I feel like as long as they got to show that they can be trusted, because this happened when I was active. It was happening. Ballers was becoming fams was going to ballers, and I'm talking like officially switching. You know what I mean? I'm not talking no infiltration stuff, right?
Yeah, I think
people like to bring up and say that I was a baller. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't get it. I never was. The intention of what I did was never to become a baller, because when I had that account, I was killing more ballers than I was doing anything, for the most part. Like, if you want to be honest about it.
But do you think there's anybody that is actually switching between ballers and families?
People that I've known to do it, I don't know now, but I've known people that have done it in the past.
Yeah, I mean, That's snakes. That's snake stuff, man. Doing that.
Now, some of the people used to hang around you when they came to FAMs. Then we had. I'm not trying to go too too many names and
No,
stuff,
we
but
did. No, we did. We did,
but
man.
I remember.
I think
So
we've had a few.
I'm gonna give you two people in my crew, right? And I didn't even know that they used to be cabs. There's two dudes in DFG. They're from France. And one of them name is like Schnurf or something like that. It's like SHC or something like that. I did not know he used to be a cab. Him and his friend or his buddy, they hung out together. I think I was in a session with them maybe twice. And I know they was from France. And I found out like later that both of these dudes used to be in cabs. I was like, because I saw them dead in a picture and it was like Cabs K on the picture. And I'm like, what? These dudes was cabs? And they in the crew? You know what I mean? They switched. I don't know. So, but they was cool. Once they came to my crew, they stayed active. They kept the tag. They never did no setup type stuff or nothing. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's like if you do it, I don't know. I think the definition of crew hopping is going from one crew to the next every week for like 3 years.
Yeah,
probably do that.
That's the extreme crew hoppers, right? I feel like that's extreme.
Yeah, I know a few people like that. Well,
anyway. Yeah, you only know one person. What's their name? I ain't gonna say that now.
So infiltration, then, man. Infiltration.
So yeah, the infiltration ties into, like you were saying, the trust.
So I mean, I want to say to begin with, I've had like several accounts when I was in that stage of infiltration, espionage and shit like that, because you need to have multiple accounts to do that shit, obviously. And there was a lot of people doing that over the years, man. A lot of people would, well, a few people were doing a lot of it, and I never succeeded, or I never intended to succeed in doing it. My reasons for doing it was to be able to find them people in the lobby, because then I would add my other account to a friend, so I could find a crew he would infiltrate, because a lot of people, they wouldn't add you as friends and shit like that. So my purpose of infiltration was to find their lobby, to go and shoot them. It was never to set them up or to kill them and shit. But obviously there's been other people who have taken it to other levels and done it better, done it how it should be done, really, you know, which is genocide the whole freaking crew, man.
Yeah. I know the infiltration started like PS3. I remember. I only remember one person in top of my head that was infamous for it. It was one of the dudes Trap Money spoke on, but he was he was in my crew at one point. I didn't know that either until later. So like I'm talking like 3 years later that I realized it was the dude that was in my crew. But his undercover account was the hell was his undercover? It was like SA something, some SA, but he was a black dude. I realized who it was, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, damn, I prided myself on not being infiltrated, but turned out I was from the whole time. He never killed me or nothing. He was actually killing people, posting pics on Social Club, putting in work for the crew. But he was a baller too at one point. He was in a couple.
Who was he working for?
He was working for himself, basically. He was doing it for himself because it wasn't to benefit. It wasn't to benefit no other crew or nothing like that. Like I said, because he ended up coming back to FAMs like years later or months later or whatever. But
so
I would say that. So yeah, that's what I don't know. I don't know his point. But then it got to the point where the infiltration was like setting people up, kicking out the crews, and like hacking crews and shit. Mainly the setups though. And then the new thing, what happened, I guess I wasn't around for this whole graving thing. I think you mentioned it before, but I'm like, that's why I kind of laugh at graving because I'm like, you go. I guess the way I see it is like you go in a crew to take a picture. Am I right? At a grave site and kill somebody that you know or somebody that's in your crew. I feel like, man,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
it's like, what's the point of that, bro? The point of infiltrating is to kill them, kill actual members. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think the original emphasis on graving was the cinematic effect of it and the pictures you took of the crew logo on the back of the shirt and a guy hands up, surrendering, getting shot, drops in the grave. Now we Cabs did that. E from Covenant came up with that idea in 2015. Now I don't know if there's anyone before us, but yeah, we did that in 2015 to, I think it was CGF or something. I don't know, maybe not CGF, but it was the Family's Crew, and we did it. It was one of our friends, but he'd infiltrated the Family's gang. And that's what they're doing. They're still doing it now, like, 10 years later, like it's something new. It's like cinema. It needs to evolve, man. Cinema's got to evolve if it's going to go anywhere. But I guess people just want to ride a wave and shit like that. I know Safrancho were graving people, and it's kind of lame when the person you're graving is your own friend that's in your own crew and you're pretending to be op. Like, I mean, real graving would be, in the actual op, like wearing his crew tag and that, but obviously that's never going to happen. But we did actually get one. We got one person to throw his hands up. We got one Family's guy to throw his hands up in a lobby and surrender. I don't think that's happened much, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of. I was just trying to wonder, like, what's the purpose of it? If it's an actual person you know, or is you? You know what I mean?
No, it's a photo. It's a photo opportunity, man. It's just a photo opportunity. You know, like at the beginning of PS3 GTA, the gang wars and shit. The photo opportunity was shooting your enemy and getting your camera out as quick as you can to take a photo. That was a mission, man. That was the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, without dying. That was a challenge back then.
I like that, man. Yeah, I like that, and that was. It was, like you said, a challenge, man, to be able to do that.
To get that picture without getting killed.
Yeah, and without them disappearing quick enough, like, that was the mission. And that went with Rockstar Ed. That went with the Rockstar Ed, obviously. And so what then came was the graving. Is like, we're gonna get a photograph of this guy, burying him. With his crew tag on and shit like that, and yeah, it was good. It was the next stage of the Snapmatic, but yeah, I don't think it carries much weight now because I've got like
so it's just like old now, basically.
It's old, man, because I've got I know in Covenant Avenue, I got a family member in my crew, but I can't find him. Tiny Calf, man, is in my crew. Carson Avenue families. I can't find him because I don't know what his social club name is, and his account is private on social club. So, but he could grab us any time, man. But yeah, we've got 40 members, and yeah, you could fucking kick out all active members, and then that would fish him out. But I'm not bothered because I know he's not a little kid, and he ain't gonna do stupid stuff like that, man. He's not bothered about that. He just plays the game properly, whatever, I guess. Because I could get grave right now by him. I think he graved us about a month ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. So when I had that KG account in Cabs, it was kind of like the same thing you said, to find people. Because I remember when I first started beefing with
What?
When you guys took
You say
over, when you guys took
KG
over,
was in cabs?
when you guys took over Cavs, right? I was like I said, I was beefing with Cavs way before y'all came. Like the original dude was some dude from Japan. They ended up going inactive, right? And then so I was like, all right, well there go my enemies. They not active no more. Then y'all spark, with Trap Money coming back, sparking that beef. But I had already had the social club for the account, and then I was adding y'all, right? At first, just adding each other, and I think y'all was adding. I think it was around the time when Shrimpy was in my crew. Shout out to Shrimpy, man, Shrimpy 98. And then you guys like deleted me or something, and y'all was adding Shrimpy because Shrimpy kept getting jumped or something like that. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna fix these dudes because I couldn't find cabs at that point. So I sent myself. I put the account in there, cabs, because I think y'all had like a lot of members at the point, just randoms. So I joined, put the account in there. I got promoted to representative, but I left that account on PS3, right? Because I was like, if the account's on PS3, you guys on PS4, that's the excuse for not being, active, right? You don't know if I'm active or not. So I just had it in there. I got put at representative, and I sent myself a crew invite to my OIG. So then I was like, all right, now I don't even need to accept none of their crews. I got a crew invite, and as long as you don't accept that crew invite or delete it, it stays there forever. You can always join that crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Infiltration originally.
Yeah. And then the reason I decided to get active with the crew, because it was, I think you guys were trying to do, y'all was trying to unite the ballers or something like that. I was like, man, we can't let that happen. Can't let no baller nation get strong. Cause I think y'all was close, man. It was the time of like Kilo Trade getting active. They had a lot of members or whatever. And then I was like, hell no. So my goal was to just stir up shit, which that's what I was trying to do. Stir up beef between the ballers. Keep y'all divided, man. It was never to be an actual baller.
Yeah, because to be honest, that was probably the strongest time. The ballers had been around, like when there's Kilo Tray, Death Row, and Cabs. And if they would have ever united, man, it would have been the end of families.
But I agree, bro. I saw that, bro.
Yeah, you could say that's why you did what you did, man, and it worked. You could say, man, to a degree. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like it worked, but then I look back to it, I was like, was it even necessary? Because y'all had a lot of y'all started to have a lot of internal issues, right?
Yeah. You made that. You made that. Those internal issues, man. I think you really did.
I think I amplified them. They was already there. Because look, man, I'm gonna see it like this, bro. When you have one, I ain't gonna say no name. When you have one baller trying to put themselves on top of all the other ballers, bro, it's never gonna work, bro.
Trapney wasn't trying to do that, man.
But that's what
it was cool.
That's what it comes off as, though.
No,
you get what I'm saying?
What happened? Yeah, possibly. They may not have been his intention, but that's where it comes off as. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's difficult to say. I mean, it's speculation, isn't it? We can't say what.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you this then, because you guys, right? You guys, every time y'all had like an ally baller set, they end up beefing with you guys, right?
No, not necessarily, man.
So what baller's crew that you never beefed with, that you was cool with? Y'all beef with Pero, right, at one point?
Not particularly, no. I've really never shot out. We've never beefed with Pero.
I know y'all beef with Kilo Trey.
Yeah, we beef with Kilo and Death Row. I think a lot of that is to do with they thought I was crew hopping, and like I think a lot of people think when you leave a gap, you're betraying them, and so they take that personally. They didn't know my reason for it, but they just thought I was leaving the gang. And I think a lot of people think when you leave a gang, then You betraying them? I don't know. Ballers seem to think that.
Cause I'm gonna say so. Like, and since I brought up Shrimpy, right? When Shrimpy left, he came respectfully, and that's why I just want to speak on it, right? He came to me. He was like, "Laylo, I don't think the street gang stuff for me." He's like, "I'm gonna go try the MC," and I was like, "Cool, bro." You know, I never sent him. You know, I never told people to kill him and nothing like that. The only reason I stopped associating with him because he was hanging with you guys. So I'm like, you can't leave us and then go hang with the people we have beef with, the rivals, and expect me to still keep you around.
He was hanging with us, was he?
Bro, you know he was. That was like your best friend, man. Stop playing, Joe.
No, I can't remember, man. He was, did he?
You was hanging with Shrimpy.
Yeah,
Shrimpy was hanging with you guys. That's why, because he was like, "Oh, Laylo, what's going on?" I was like, "I ain't got no issue with you, but you hanging with them, I can't have you around. You know what I'm saying? It's bad for business, bro. That's all that is. You know, I wish you the best. I'm not gonna kill you. The only person I ever sent people after to kill my crew was a dude named Rock, and that was some internal beef type stuff where he was taking it personal. He was dissing people personally in the group chat, you know what I'm saying? So, but somebody leaving, I'll never look at somebody leaving. That's like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird though, bro. Like, if you get upset somebody leave, I feel like you need that person.
I think that's what happened in my situation a lot of times, man. I think when I went to promote their gang, and then I went back to Covenant, because I've always been Covenant. And then I found that they I dissed them or something, and I got exiled for those reasons, man. From that gang in particular, whatever gang it was. I think it's like they got in their emotions and shit like that. You know what I mean?
So they knew you was Cavs in the beginning, and then you leave to go back, and they upset.
Yeah, I mean, I never left Caps, but I would go to other gangs to represent their gang, to bring them up, so they could, you know what I mean? At Bruges Avenue and Death Row, we birthed those gangs, man. I'm not saying we birthed them, but we were there before them, and we were there when they needed us at the beginning of their gangs. And when I went to Covenant, I felt that they just like, they blanked you out, man. They blanked me out. I think that's a big part of the Baller Nation, you know. They don't, they're very tribal, man.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would be upset with somebody from returning to the crew that they originally was with. You know what I mean? Cause I had that happen, man. I know some. You remember Iko Sonic?
Yeah.
Iko Sonic used to be in DFG at one point, and then he went to like either CGF or DFAM or something. But you know, we fans, we had that issue a lot too. Like people jumping around, and then there were people that came from DFAM, like Alu. I never knew Alu was DFAM until later. It was just happening, and I just tried my best not to take it personal. You know what I'm saying? And then if I knew somebody came from another crew, I felt kind of like, man, I hope this other crew don't think I'm trying to recruit their members. You know what I mean? Because I don't like that shit going on in my crew, so I wouldn't do it to nobody else.
I mean, I wouldn't actively try and recruit people and shit like that.
I'm just saying with the leaving, people. I feel like people shouldn't take it, too personal. It depends on how you leave, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you don't leave disrespectfully, like let that person, do what they do.
Exactly, man. I mean, I never left disrespectfully from any of my gangs and shit. I want to touch on Alu, man. You want to talk about him? Because he was a major player at one point, man. Yeah,
shout out to Alu, man. He was probably one of the younger members of my crew. He was a very good shooter. He came from, he was originally in Eclipse DFAM. I even let him be the leader at one point for a minute, man. Loyal player, bro. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you want. I mean, he did set up he did set up Kilo Trey too. He infiltrated him.
Okay. Obviously, PKJ infiltrated KB as well.
Yeah.
But Lou, what I appreciate about people in the SGC is their content they create, man. I think it's important. I think, yeah, it's okay being a silent player and that, but I think the content people create helps build the community. And I know Lou was quite active at Social Club, Rockstar Social Club and that.
Yeah, he was, man. He
Pictures.
he used to have videos too. He used to upload on his YouTube channel. But yeah, he's saying, you know, obviously people step away from the game, so he did that. Who else, man? I had Retro,
Right.
man. Retro's like one of my original young dudes. I talked to him now. He in college and stuff, man. So he was he used to be Taylor, man. And I know he used to have a real beef with Trap Money at one point back in the day. I think back when y'all was like Carson ad ballers.
What's his name?
Back then it was Taylor.
Not Tyler.
Taylor. No, not Tyler.
No, because you remember someone called Tyler.
I've seen that name before.
Tyler jumped from Families to Ballers a couple of times. I think he was in 98th Street. Yeah. That's a crew hopper. So Layla, what do you think about people, gangs rather, appearing offline when they're actually online on GTA?
That one's I mean it's I don't know. It's like depends on.
Do you want me to?
No, it just for me.
Talk more about what I mean by that.
No, I can see, cause so like I can just give scenarios, man, for that appearing offline. I know I usually appear offline for the podcast, right? Just so I don't have people, you know, message or trying to join to mess it up. Cause I try to stay in the flow. But when you're being active, it depends, right? If I know somebody that's on my list,
depends.
And they usually,
it depends.
If they look, if I'm on my list, right, and there's somebody that I'm funking with, we got beef, and it's hard for me to find them, or they disappear, or they leave a lot. You know what I'm saying? I might be like, all right, let me appear offline. Maybe I can catch them. You get what I'm saying? But I don't feel like it affects anything. Like, you know, once if you're in a session, you're in a session. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm appearing offline, it doesn't matter if I'm offline or am I in a session or not. If you're looking for me and I'm appearing offline, then yeah, that's the issue. If I'm the one being hunted basically, and I'm appearing offline.
Yeah, you are being hunted every day, right? So why you should never be appearing offline, because you're families, man. I'm a baller. You are being hunted. There are a lot of people after you, man, and there are a lot of people after me.
I ain't being hunted.
No,
they want. Hey, if y'all want to find me, bro. If y'all want to find me,
I'm not saying you.
Get a PC.
I'm not saying you in
get on Discord. Come get me, man. That's what y'all talking about.
I'm saying if you're a family, man, you're gonna be hunted, man.
Yeah.
To every second you are online, you're gonna be hunted, and same here as a baller. I'm gonna be hunted. So if
I feel like that depends if you're good or not, though.
I'm cheating the game, man. I'm cheating the game if I'm appearing offline. And I know people who do that. That's what they do, man. It's their MO, man. It's their modus, whatever it's called. It's their MO, man. That's what they do, right? And it's because they got so many ops that they don't want the ops to know when they're online, so they can go and take out one of their ops here and there, but they don't want their web op that they're online. And I think that's the problem, man. I think if you trash talk on the game, whatever it is, and then you go offline, I think that's the game, man. I think you got to keep it real. I think if you're going to trash talk, you got to walk the walk, and you got to expect the consequences that are going to come from things you say and your actions. And maybe people even want to test you, test your skills, your rank. So you got to appear off online, man. When you play the game, appear online. I'm on about the street gang community. I'm not on about podcasts, man. Here now, I'm on about the street gang community. You know, if you're going to play the game, you should appear online, man. It's simple as it's basic. You're hiding. If you're appearing offline when you're playing the game, you're hiding, man. You're ducking, and that's I don't know, man.
If that person right, they appear offline and then they're like, all right, then I'll appear online. Then then what? It's like, are they gonna pull up? Are they gonna shoot? To me, I always looked at it because people have been doing it for a long time. You know what I mean? I know some fams that used to do it. Yeah,
but I'm just saying it's not legit, man. It's not. We should say now whether it's legit or not. I don't think it's a legit thing to do, man. I think it's a little bit cheating, man. I think it's cheating.
I don't think it affects the gameplay though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it matters in that sense.
It does, man.
It's
it
funny.
Does, man, because
it's funny and it's kind of. I feel like it's more funny than
it's not funny. Nah, it's not funny at all, man. It's not funny. Because what they're doing is they're picking and choosing who they shoot at. They're not leave open to how it should be. You know, everybody's a target here, man. You can't pick and choose fights. That's like a boxer, you know, getting to number one rank by picking the fighters he fights against. It's not like, you know, you need to fight best.
Don't they do that though?
There, man. Huh?
Don't boxers pick and choose usually who their opponent is, or they get their managers to set up the fights?
Yeah, but that's when the real fighters distinguish from the ones who've got poor resumes and shit like that. You know, like, you know, you got Tyson Fury and Usyk. Usyk fights the best out there. Tyson Fury picks and chooses who he wants to fight.
I would say this about the appearing offline, right? On PlayStation, you can go and check the people's game, right? It'll tell you. Like I know a few people. There's a dude. What's his name? I'm gonna just call him out because I've never seen this dude. Triple OG Luger or some shit like that. He a baller. I never ever seen this dude in a session.
Say the name again.
It's like Luger or something like that.
Oh yeah, Luger. I know Luger, right? Man. Yeah. Nah, he plays a lot of other games. He doesn't play GTA much.
But even when he did, bro, I remember the name. Man. It's him. What's another one? Nightballer OG. Dudes never appear online, bro. Because I would see. I remember checking them. And it said they hadn't been on in months, but then it said they played GTA like a few days ago. That's when you're appearing online the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's PUBG, and PUBG do that a lot, man. Bruges Avenue Ballers, you know, them.
Go figure, bro.
They play offline. they play offline a lot, man. They appear offline a lot. Bruges Avenue. That's how they do it, and that's what I'm saying, man.
And so that's why so they have a beef with you too for leaving.
Who?
Those guys you just mentioned. I don't even want to talk about them no more. I'm just saying because I see they have an issue with you as well.
Yeah. No, yeah. You know they got. I think they don't like me because they left their crew when I was. But the thing is, they left cabs, man. They was all in cabs before they started Bruges Avenue. All of them. We had like six of them to make Bruges Avenue. It was all cabs. Loki, Kane, and a few of them. But yeah, they was originally cabs. They made their crew, and I was cool with that, man. And then a year later, I went and joined their crew to help them promote their crew and shit. And I was cool. And then I went back to cabs. And then when I went to cabs, they was like frosty with me and shit, man. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, it's frosty, man. And they, you know.
So they
If
they
you
basically
set
bite the
them-
hand that feed them, huh? If they came from calves, like how you gonna be? I
Yeah,
don't know. I
yeah.
don't get it, man.
Yep, they all came from. OG Kane was originally a Covent Avenue Ballerman, and then I think I don't know if Loki was ever a Covenant, but he kind of came and took all YB and YB's wife and shit, there's a couple more. He took that to Bruges Avenue because they've become more active because cabs have become a little bit active. And it's just like they go where people go where the activity is, don't they? If they're active themselves. Yeah, I will say there is a couple of positives, which is I know somebody who crew hops a bit, and he creates emblems for different gangs. And I think emblem, a big part of the gang community. People like to have a nice emblem. Not everyone can make them, and so that's a big part of it. They also, you can make money off it as well. So you got people like Jay, Face. They make emblems and they flip between crews. I know that's why Jay flipped between a lot of crews, so he could make emblems and to make money off.
When you speaking on crew emblems, right? You know how I make my thumbnails, man. I noticed, man, every gang has like the little bandana triangle in the background of their crew emblem. Like, is that the same person making those, or like?
No, it's on the GTA emblem maker. It's like a website for GTA emblems, I think it's. And there's like a purple rag and a green rag base for every emblem, and so I think everyone has got on there, and then they've used that because it's a default emblem for the ballers and families in it.